let's talk a little bit about Hosea, because he is a tricky prophet, that one. Hosea is our first prophet of either any list you go by, the Septuagint list or the Masoretic text list. He's the first, and he starts off with a bang. The short story on Hosea is that he is a minor prophet, of course, but God basically tells him to marry a harlot, and it goes downhill from there.
Yeah.
And
That's the high point.
yeah, and the whole story is basically that Israel is the harlot, and besides that metaphor or analogy that they're making between Israel and the harlot, they really run down Hosea's wife Gomer and their children. So I'm thinking that that's where your disagreement with Hosea
Yes.
comes from.
And the names of his children. It's something like the Hebrew words translate as something like "I hate you" and "you bastard," or something like that. And I don't like the imagery. Okay, I can see God is trying to make a point, because God is a jealous God about Israel's harlotry, but I don't like the way it's done. I don't like the inherent misogyny in it. I actually looked up the other day how many times are prostitutes referred to in the Old Testament. It's about 100 times. Doesn't that seem a lot for a holy book? A little bit of preoccupation going on here. I just don't like that aspect of it. So, I just don't like Hosea.
It's really interesting because if you're coming into the reading the book blind and you don't have any context for it, it sure does seem from that first section that it's not metaphorical.
No.
And then you read on and you can see, okay, yeah, that's probably a metaphor, but they never do really spell out that it is a metaphor, that Gomer and that these names that they give for the kids are metaphorical. I could see putting Hosea towards the bottom just for that point alone, that they never really do. It's never spelled out that, okay, that this is what we were doing. You kind of have to read between the lines to backdate that first whole initial couple, at least a chapter, is just an analogy for Israel.
But you have to admit, if you were the least literally minded about reading the Bible, you'd take it literally, wouldn't you?
Yeah, for sure.